It's nice to see all of your lovely faces here this morning. My name is Stephanie Pear, and I will be your host for this morning's proceedings. Before we get into the program, I would just like to acknowledge a few important and special guests that we have this morning. Dame Monica Dacon, patron of the Girl Guides Association of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Mrs. Gwendolyn Russell, president of the Girl Guides Association of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Specially invited guest, Miss Suzanne Commissiong, daughter of Mrs. Althea Commissiong. Mrs. Gillian Griffith, member of council. Dr. Monica Davis, Vice President, Mrs. Laura Brown, Chief Commissioner, Mrs. Jeanette France, and Mrs. Dawn Smith, Life members, other members of the Executive Committee, commissioners, guiders, sister brownies, and distinguished judges, a pleasant morning. We will now have our opening prayer by Miss Rhea Adams. Please stand, bow all heads, close all eyes.
Okay, so we will be saying the brownie prayer. Dear Father in heaven, we know we are your children. We want to serve you faithfully. Help us to listen to your voice. Help us to be willing and quick to do your work. And help us to thank you every day for all the gifts you give to us. Amen.
Thank you, Rio. Please remain standing as we will now have our national anthem. 1, 2, 3. Saint Vincent lamps on you. With joyful hearts we pledge to thee our loyalty and love and vow to keep you ever free. Whatever the future brings, our faith will see us through. May peace reign from shore to shore, and God bless and keep us true. High road of spirit, blessed as the mountain, I so clear and free, are wood to me, though I may stray, for heaven comes free. Whatever the future brings, our faith will see us through. May peace reign from shore to shore, and God bless and keep us true. Our little sister islands are those gems, the lovely Grenadines, upon their seas round golden sands, the sunshine never beams. Whatever the future brings, our faith will see us through. May peace reign from shore to shore, and God bless and keep us true. Thank you. You may be seated. We will now have our opening remarks by Ms. Taylor Oliver.
Good morning and welcome to the annual Althea Commissiong Brownie Public Speaking Competition. Welcome to Dame Monica Brown, patron of the Girl Guides Association of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Mrs. Gwendolyn Russell, President, specially invited guest Miss Susan Commissiong, daughter of Miss Althea Commissiong, Miss Gillian Griffith, Member of the Council, Dr. Monica Davis, Vice President, Mrs. Laura Brown, Chief Commissioner, Mrs. Jeanette France, and Mrs. Dawn Smith, Life members, and other members of the Executive Committee, Commissioners, Guiders, and Sister Brownies, and of course, our distinguished judges, Mrs. Celine, Mrs. Horn, and Miss Cato. We would also like to give a warm welcome to our guests viewing this competition in person and via IKTV. Welcome.
Thank you very much for that welcome, Ms. Oliver. We will now invite all of our participants for today's public speaking to just stand, and we ask that you just give them a round of applause. Brownies, just stand. Thank you. You may be seated. We will now have our introduction of judges by Ms. Paige Cadogan. Welcome her as she comes.
Good morning, everyone. To start the introduction of our judges, started on my left, we have Mrs. Athalie Kane-Solin. Mrs. Kane-Solin is an educator and currently holds the post of Deputy Headmistress at the St. Vincent Girls High School. She has served as a Brown Owl at the Kingston Preparatory School and continues to volunteer her time and support to the Girl Guide Association. Mrs. Kane-Solin. Next, we have Miss Lindsay Horn. She is a past member of the number 11 Girl Guide Company and a Chief Commissioner Guide in 2014. She recently attained a Bachelor of Science degree in Geoscience from UWI Mona and is determined to further her studies in Earth Sciences at the postgraduate level. Miss Lindsay Horn. And lastly, we have Miss Genevieve Caso. She is an architect by profession. Ms. Cato holds a Bachelor of Arts degree from the Caribbean School of Architecture, University of Technology, Jamaica. She has a passion for climate resilient architecture and infrastructure in the Caribbean. Ms. Cato is the current Vice President of Education of the Imperial Champions Toastmasters Club. She has vivid recollections of being a brownie. Ms. Genevieve Cato.
Thank you very much, Paige. I will now read the rules of the competition. Each speaker shall deliver 2 speeches, a prepared speech and an impromptu speech. Each speaker must be introduced with their full name and the name of their Brownie Guide unit before they approach the lectern for the prepared and impromptu speeches. For the prepared speech, each speaker shall speak on the topic for a minimum of 5 minutes and for a period not exceeding 8 minutes. A bell will be rung to signal that the speaker has 1 minute left before her allocated time expires. For the impromptu speech, each speaker shall have 2 minutes to consider the topic. A bell will be rung after 2 minutes has elapsed. The speaker will be given no more than 2 minutes to present her topic. A bell will be rung to signal that the student has 1 minute left before her allocated time expires. Participants should be encouraged to engage the audience and not read their speeches, but may refer to prepared notes from which they can make their presentation. For the prepared speech, speakers not engaged in delivering their speeches shall be absent from the room at the time the speech is being delivered, except she has already delivered her speech. Each speaker must exhibit general preparedness in keeping with the guide motto and attitudes that are reflective of the promise and law. These are the rules of your competition. I now ask all brownies for the prepared speech to make your way to the back of the room, please. Just give us a few minutes, please. We are awaiting our first participant. Please welcome her as she comes.
My name is Tahira Andrews, and I come from First South Rivers, Brownie Park. Climate change refers to long-term shifts in weather patterns. These temperature shifts may be natural, but the activities of us humans have contributed to these temperature shifts. As well, due to the burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas, which produces heat trap gases. We heard the term climate change, and we know that it is affecting the whole world, but it is also affecting us here in the Caribbean. And even in our own country, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Some effects of climate change include hotter days. These can cause heat-related illnesses and can make it very difficult and uncomfortable to get work done and even move around. When there are high temperatures, fire can start easily and spread quick. These high temperatures can also cause changes in rainfalls, which could mean less water available for us to do our daily activities, such as drinking, cooking, water, etc. High temperatures condition can result in severe storms, floodings, landslides, etc., which can destroy our homes and communities and cause lot to repair and to rebuild. We in St. Vincent and the Grenadines have suffered a lot during the past few years and have a result of climate change. We may not see it or be aware that it is the cause, but it is. It has affected our farming, forests, fisheries, housing, infrastructure, and several of our communities. These can affect our water and food supply, the amount of types of houses we may have, our environment, and our lives. The eruption of Lasso-Fre volcano in 2021 caused some of these effects, and we are still seeing the impacts even now, 1 year later. Some communities across the nation went without water for days. Seen as well, people lost their homes not just due to the eruption, but also due to following hurricanes. We are lucky here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines that our water supply is not affected because there are some islands in the Caribbean without a steady water supply. Even though we are a small island in the world, we can still do our part to reduce climate change. Simple things can help a lot of our electricity usage, coal, oil, or gas. We can use less energy by switching to LED bulbs, washing our clothes with cold water, and hanging them to dry instead of using the dryer. Vehicle, Vehicles use diesel or petrol. This has a direct effect on climate change. Therefore, we can ride bikes, and even carpool instead of having a lot of vehicles on the road. Our diets can even help reduce climate change. If we decide to eat more vegetables, fruits, grains, and legumes, this would also help the environment. When when we have leftover food, we should try to reuse it and form compost heaps if we can. An important way we can reduce climate change is by reducing, reusing, repairing, and recycling. Everyone can help limit climate change. I thank you.
Thank you very much. And she spoke for 6 minutes and 17 seconds. Just give the judges a little time. We will now have our next participant in the prepared speech. Welcome Miss Abigail Ogaro from the number 30 Open Brownie Path. take off your mask and when you finish, you put it back on. You can if you want. This is the first place.
My name is Abigail Ogaro from the number 30 Brownie Pack. Madam Chairperson, President Mrs. Gwendolyn June Russell, Chief Commissioner Mrs. Laura Brown, Windward Division Commissioner Mrs. Jackie Soso Vincent, District Commissioners, Guiders, Guides, Brownies, Judges, specially invited guests, our patron Mrs. Monica Dacon, who is not with us today, but our thoughts are with her. A pleasant good morning. My topic for this morning is climate change and protect the environment are popular phrases we hear on the news. How has climate change affected our islands and what can we do to protect the environment? According to the website un.org, climate change refers to the long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. These shifts may be natural, such as through variations in the solar cycle, or unnatural, such as burning fossil fuels which generates greenhouse gas emissions that act like a blanket wrapped around Earth, trapping the sun's heat and raising temperatures. MyClimate.org indicated that climate change affects our islands by raising maximum temperatures, raising minimum temperatures, causing higher ocean temperatures, increasing heavy precipitation, heavy rain. How has climate change affected our islands? Madam Chairperson, when the December 2013 floods occurred, I was only 2 years old. I was told several persons died and that properties and bridges were destroyed. This was a new experience for Vincentians. In discussing with Dr. Reynold Murray, consultant and climate change specialist, he told me that climate change affects our islands in several ways. 1. Rainfall. We have shorter rainfall periods but heavier downpours. This results in floods, as we saw in December 2013. 2. Agriculture. The change in the rainfall patterns affects crops, and we need to plant different crops that can survive in different conditions. 3. The water supply. The water supply changes. We cut down trees and build more houses so that water runs off and is not absorbed into the soil. The water table is adversely affected, and in the dry season, the rivers dry up more quickly. 4. Tourism. Tourists no longer have to come to the Caribbean for the warmer temperatures because their climates are getting warmer. And 5. Fisheries. With the warmer ocean temperatures, fish no longer have to migrate to the Caribbean, and our fish supply decreases. Responding to climate change. We can respond to climate change in different ways, such as rainwater harvesting, storing our rainwater for use. The water can be used for irrigation and other purposes to reduce the use of pipe-borne water. Our friends in the Grenadine Islands have done this for years. Changing our crops. We can change some crops to those with a shorter growing period and those that need shorter periods of rain. Reducing the carbon dioxide and other pollutants in the atmosphere to reduce heat, reduce the use of fossil fuels, less smoking from vehicles, factories, people smoking marijuana and cigarettes, which damages the ozone layer, practicing aquaculture, creating fish farms to grow fish, improving the fishing fleet so fishermen can go further safely, changing our tourism products from sea, sand, and sun, and selling more hospitality products such as tranquil settings and mountain cabins, using more renewable resources of energy such as water, wind, and sunlight. We can improve the use of energy by turning off lights when not in use, using more electric vehicles so fossil fuels won't damage the ozone layer. We can reduce traveling by having Zoom meetings, if possible, to walk to a destination instead of driving. Carpooling, planting trees to increase oxygen levels and decrease carbon dioxide levels. Madam Chairperson, in conclusion, climate change has real consequences for our small island. While we may not be able to control what is happening in the world, we can do our part to protect our environment. I am committed to doing my part. Are you? I thank you.
Thank you very much, Abigail. Please give her another round of applause. And Ms. O'Gara spoke for 5 minutes and 32 seconds. We're just giving the judges a little time. We now have our final speaker in the prepared speech category. Please welcome Ms. Orissa Baines from the number 1 South Rivers Methodist School. When you're speaking, you take off your mask. When you finish, you put it back on, okay? You can introduce yourself again. Just put it twice.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Orissa Baines. I am from the South Rivers Methodist School, Brownie Park. Dame Monica Deacon, patron of the Girl Guides Association of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Mrs. Gwendolyn Russell, President. Specially invited guest Miss Susan Commissiong, daughter of Mrs. Althea Commissiong, Dr. Monica Davis, Vice President, Mrs. Laura Brown, Chief Commissioner, Mrs. Jeanette France, Mrs. Dawn Smith, Life members, other members of the Executive Commissioners, guiders, Sister Brownies, distinguished judges, good morning. Since the Industrial Revolution, the concepts of climate change and global warming have become increasingly concerning, particularly for us here in small island developing states like the Caribbean. The United Nations states that climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. They noted that since the 1800s, human activities have been the main driver of climate change. Primarily, the burning of fossil fuels for energy. The popular cartoon Captain Planet has long taught us about the causes and impacts of climate change on the Earth. It is a complex issue affecting different sectors of our society. There is no doubt, judges, that the effects of climate change on our small islands are many. It is time then that we do what we can to protect our environment and stop this problem from worsening. My audience, climate change has resulted in hazards that have affected our physical and human environment. However, there are things that we can do to slow down climate change and manage its impacts on our society. Judges, climate change has resulted in an increase in the frequency and intensity of adverse weather systems such as droughts and hurricanes. Stronger, more frequent hurricanes result in millions of dollars worth of damage right here in the Caribbean. In 2017, Hurricane Maria caused the loss of 65 lives in Dominica, and the government reported that 90% of the housing stock was severely damaged. Floods have contaminated water sources, resulting in diseases and water shortages. Additionally, climate change leads to extreme temperatures and droughts, which have impacted human health. The World Health Organization reported that almost 1 billion people have been affected by climate-related health issues, with the most vulnerable being children and the elderly. Chairperson, the agricultural sector has also been affected by climate change. We have seen right here in St. Vincent where farmlands became flooded or suffered severe wind damage. The fisheries and animal production subsectors have also suffered tremendously. The Dominican government reported that after Hurricane Maria, Dominica lost over 70% of its agricultural production. SVG had a similar experience after Hurricane Ivan in 2004 and in Thomas in 2010. Their report further stated that the disruption in communications and damages to ports of entry limited the movement of goods, exposing Dominica to food insecurity. Droughts also threaten food security in our islands. The UN states that over 80% of all drought-caused economic losses documented by the FAO. States, judges, climate change is also responsible for the spread of pests and diseases which plague the plants and animals in our already fragile environment. I am sure we can remember names like Moko, Black Sigatoka, and of course, chikungunya. Chairperson, This is only the tip of the iceberg, as we have yet to delve into the indirect effects such as the loss of livelihoods. My audience, Honorable Mayor Motley stated at COP26 that our small islands are the least complicit in the climate change. But we are the most vulnerable to its impacts. Therefore, we must do something to slow down the change and manage its impacts. The management of climate change and the protection of the environment go hand in hand. Education is one of the most important tools we can use in our quest to climate change, management, and environmental protection. By arming persons with information about the causes and impacts of climate change and the practical things that can be done to manage it, they will make more environmentally conscious decisions, thus limiting further change and managing the impacts. Another measure that can be employed is the management of our waste. We produce a lot of waste, which eventually leads to climate change. Thus, by reducing the amount of waste we produce, we can manage climate change. And what about our home judges? By building well-ventilated homes that maximizes the use of natural light, we can reduce our energy consumption, reducing the use of fossil fuels. Moreover, we can use alternative sources of energy such as solar and energy-efficient appliances to reduce our carbon footprint. Chairperson, climate change results in shifts in temperatures and weather patterns, and the actions of human beings have exacerbated these changes. The impacts of climate change have been felt in all sectors of society. Extreme weather conditions have resulted in loss of life and property and has threatened our food and water security. Alas, something must be done. We must continue to educate persons on the causes and impacts of climate change and make better choices so that we can protect our environment. According to Captain Planet, the power is ours. I thank you.
And thank you, Miss Baines. Orissa spoke for 8 minutes and 29 seconds. Let's give her another round of applause. We'll just give the judges a bit of time before we delve into our next category. I just want to thank the girls who came up here. They did an excellent job. They came and they did their best. And they spoke on such a timely theme, being climate change and protect the environment are popular phrases we hear on the news. How has climate change affected our islands, and what can we do to protect our environment? Thank you, girls, for reminding us about what we can do to protect our environment. Thank you. Okay, we will now move swiftly into our impromptu category, Girls, you will go over to Miss Adams when your name is called to pick your topic. You would bring it to me. I would announce your topic and you would have your 2 minutes to prepare. Everybody understand? Okay, lovely. Our first person in the impromptu category is Miss Amara Arundale. Please give her a round of applause as she comes. And Amara's topic is what I like about Christmas. What I like about Christmas. You have a pencil? Amara, you would have your 2 minutes to prepare your topic, and the bell will ring when your time is up. You could take down your mask when you're ready to speak, okay?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Amaria Arendelle, and my topic is what I like about Christmas. As I said, my topic was what I like about Christmas. What I like about Christmas is that you get time to spend with your family and friends, and the time is also to rejoice the Savior God. I thank.
Thank you very much, Amaro. And Amaria is from the number 1 South Rivers Methodist School. She spoke for 26 seconds. While the judges are signaling me, we will have our second participant, Miss Milo Vero, from the number 30 Open Brownie Pack. This is your paper and your pencil. Milo Vero. And the Milo's topic is, if I were an animal, I would be a ... If I were an animal, I would be a ...
My question was, if I was an animal, what would I be? What is an animal? An animal is a living thing. And if I was an animal, I would be a fish. I would be a fish because I love the ocean and I love swimming. That's why I'll be a fish. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you very much, Milo. I would be fish too, don't worry. And Milo spoke for 24 seconds. Girls, please remember you have 2 minutes to speak. So you could speak as long as 2 minutes. Our third participant is Miss Carrie Ann Graves from the number 30 Open Brownie Pack. Please welcome her, Miss Carrie Ann Graves. And Carrie Ann's topic is how I like to spend my school holidays. How I like to spend my school holidays. Carrie Ann, you have 2 minutes to prepare and then 2 minutes to speak. The ballerina will signal you when your time is up. You go from down your mask to speak and go back.
Good morning. My name is Carrie Ann Graves of the number 30 Open Brownie Pack, and my topic was how I like to spend my holidays. How I like to spend my holidays is with my family because they are the most amazing people in the world. I like to spend holidays with them because they bring a lot of joy into my life, and I do not know what I would do without the love of my family. My family is a very amazing family, and I do not want to be with any other family because they love me so, so much. And I would love to spend all my other school holidays with them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carrie Ann. I like to spend my holidays with my family too. And Carrie Ann spoke for 56 seconds. Our next participant is Miss Orissa Baines. And she is from the number 1 South Rivers Methodist School. Orissa's topic is preparing for a hurricane. Preparing for a hurricane.
Good morning, everybody. My topic is when you are preparing for a hurricane. When you are preparing for a hurricane, you have to make sure you get all the stuff you need. You have to make sure before the hurricane comes, you go to the market to stock up more food so you can't run out of food. If you run out of food, you will be hungry and you can also suffer. You have to make sure you buy a lot of water to keep hydrated. You have to buy a lot of food because your family will be hungry, especially if it's an extended family. You have to make sure your kids eat a lot because your kids might be hungry. And that is all I have for today. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Orissa. Please remember to buy a lot of food because you don't want to be hungry. Thank you, Orissa. And Orissa spoke for 1 minute and 20 seconds. Oh, 7 seconds, sorry. 1 minute and 7 seconds. Another round of applause for Orissa. Our next participant in the impromptu category is Miss Abigail Ogaro from the number 30 Open Brownie Pack. Please welcome Abigail. It's okay, you still have to write on the paper so you can recite it. And Abigail's topic is, how can I be a good friend? How can I be a good friend?
My topic for this morning is, how can I be a good friend? I will help my friend in times of trouble with family, school, and other things. If my friend is being bullied, I would surely stay by their side and help them through those times. No matter what, I would spend time with them and be their friend and help them even though they don't really need it. I possibly would have time to spend with them and talk and have chats and play games with them. Even Even if they don't want to be with me or play with me or do anything with me, I would surely try and try again to be their friend. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Abigail. I aspire to have a friend just like you. And Abigail spoke for 58 seconds. Give her another round of applause, please. And our final participant in the impromptu category is Mr. Hira Andrews from the #1 South Rivers Methodist School. Please welcome her, please, to Hira. And Tahira's topic is a scary dream I had. A scary dream I had.
Good morning, everyone. My topic is a scary dream that I had. I have many dreams, but not as scary as this one. I had dreamt that I fell off a cliff and it was terrifying. When I was down on the ground, I started to bleed and I couldn't get up. I couldn't feel a muscle. I cried out for help and nobody could hear me. So I just gave up. I lost all hope. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Tahira. I hope I never have a dream that's scary. My goodness. Whew. That was a scary one. And Tahira spoke for 52 seconds. Let's give her another round of applause. And that was our final participant in the impromptu category. Please join me in giving all of our girls a round of applause. They exhibited bravery and they did their best, as a brownie should. As the judges are tallying their scores, we break for a very brief intermission. You can interact, spread joy, etc. Okay. If any of our brownies, since we are in the spirit of speaking, if you would like to come and talk about your laissez-faire experience or online schooling, come on, Orissa.
Good morning, everyone, again. My laissez-faire experience was very exciting and very hard at the same time. The exciting part was that I got to make a new friend, and her name is Summer. The hard part was when when I breathed it in, I started to get my sinus and I started to feel bad. The day that I heard the volcano was going to burst, I started crying. Then I went in my room and started praying. I said, "Oh Lord, cover me under your blood. I am not ready to die because I'm too young." And that is my volcano experience, my first one.
Thank you very much, Orissa. Orissa girl, I prayed too, The first time I heard it, it was my first experience as well. And just like you, I went in my room and I prayed so that nobody would die. Amen. Would anybody else like to speak about their laissez-faire experience or online school? Come on down to Hyro. Let's welcome her as she comes.
Good morning, everybody, again. My laissez-faire experience was very terrifying, and it was my very first experience, and I hope it be the last. On the Friday, I didn't expect laissez-faire to erupt, but I heard a weird sound. When I went outside, there was ash everywhere, and I didn't know what it was, but I touched it and I started to sneeze. Then I figured out, is this ash? And I went in the house and told my grandparents that the laissez-faire had erupted. It was the most terrible experience of my life, but I hope it is the first and the last experience for me. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Hyro. Carrie Ann would like to share with us. Please give her a hand as she comes.
Good morning again. I'll be talking about my very first laissez-faire experience. When the eruption happened, I was at home and I was inside. When I went outside, I saw the volcano erupted. And it was very fascinating to me because of the way how it formed and how it was up in the air, and it looked like if it was moving very slowly, but I knew that it was moving fast. At night, we were very amazed by the little lightning show that went on, and it was very enjoyable. The next day, there was ash all over the ground, and it was very, very knitting because I have never seen the ash like this before, and in person as well. And I collected a little sample, yes, to save. And it was a very magnificent experience. Yes, but I have also learned that the ash is bad for you. So I tried my best not to inhale it and try not to touch it as much. And the ash has prevented us from going outside, but it was really fun and I liked it very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carrie-Ann. Am I not too late on the oncology speech result? Yeah. Okay. We now open the floor to our judges to give any comments to the girls before we announce the results.
Protocol established, and good morning to everyone here. My name is Genevieve Cato, one of the judges, and I will be speaking on the three of us, and firstly, on the prepared speeches. So I'm a Toastmaster, as you probably would have recognized. So I came from Toastmasters eyes. I was looking at the participants. And some things that we noticed was that I must say congratulations to everyone, and I can see the effort that you placed in that you put in your speeches. There was excellent evidence of research. Excellent. So congratulations. Congratulations for taking out the time to put together your speeches. They were well prepared. I must say that there was great effort in dynamism and great effort in grammar and diction. However, there is still room for improvement in the diction category. I'd also recommend that I guess it's a little difficult, and it is difficult even as a Toastmaster to memorize your speeches. Even if it's parts, try to memorize certain parts of your speeches so that your eyes are not glued to the page. It's good to engage with the audience, and they would like to see your face sometimes, your eyes look at the audience, although it can be a little intimidating, and it comes with practice, but it's something to note. I'd also recommend that you project your voice. Even though you're in front of a mic and it is hard and you're nervous, it's great that it's good to project your voice so that the audience can hear clearly what your points are. Nevertheless, it was an excellent effort by all three participants. And I would say that everyone really came with guns charging in terms of the topic for today with climate change. So congratulations once again. In terms of impromptu, I must say that the impromptu was a little more difficult to judge for all three of us. And I would recommend that with everyone, that you try to expand on your topic. Do not just state a point or two, try to expand on it. So that would begin by expanding, defining, explaining. All these things you must take into account as well. Listen to your topic as much as possible and try to pull it apart, take it apart. This comes with practice, of course, because we know that impromptu can be difficult, but it's something to keep in mind that you try to do that as much as possible. Nevertheless, again, great effort by all participants, and I look forward to hearing you grow in your public speaking skills. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Ms. Cato and the other judges for those remarks. I'm sure the girls appreciated it, and I took it into consideration for my future public speaking career as well. We now have the results. Drum roll, please. Thank you, thank you. In third position, we have Mr. Hira Andrews from the number 1 South Rivers Methodist School. This is the results for the prepared speech. In second position, we have Miss Abigail Ogaro from the number 30 Open Brownie Park. And the winner of our prepared speech segment is Miss Orissa Baines from the number 1 South Rivers Methodist School. Congratulations, ladies. We now move into the results for the impromptu segment. In third place, we have Miss Abigail Ogaro from the number 30 Open Brownie Park. How can I be a good friend? That was her topic. In second place, We have Miss Tahira Andrews from the number 1 South Rivers Methodist School, and her topic was a scary dream I had. And in first position in the impromptu segment, we have Miss Orissa Baines from the number 1 South Rivers Methodist School, and her topic was how to prepare for a hurricane. And Orissa reminded us to please stock up on your food. Don't be hungry. Congratulations, ladies. You all did a wonderful job. We will now have the presentation of certificates. Miss Carrie Ann Graves from the number 30 Open Brownie Pack. Miss Abigail Ogaro from the number 30 Open Brownie Pack. Amaria Arundale from the number 1 South Rivers Methodist School. Miss Orissa Baines from the number 1 South Rivers Methodist School. Mr. Hira Andrews from the number 1 South Rivers Methodist School. And Miss Myla Vera from the number 30 Open Brownie Pack. Girls, for those of you who didn't receive a gift bag, we have some prizes for you. So if you could just come and line up here for your prizes. For those persons who didn't receive a gift bag, Carrie Ann, Milo, Amario. Yeah, Carrie Ann, Mila, and Amario. Here at the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Girl Guides Association, we love to show our appreciation not only by words but by tokens. So judges, if you can kindly come, we have a little token of appreciation for you. Please give our judges a round of applause for a job well done. We couldn't have completed this competition without you. Thank you. We now invite our Chief Commissioner, Mrs. Laura Brown, to give us some closing remarks or comments.
Thank you very much, members of the Junior Council and our excellent chairperson this morning. We had an excellent session here. We want to thank those units that participated in this Brownies public speaking today, and we hope that their example will rub off on some other units. We had some real disappointing news in the past couple of days in relation to the participation, but we're happy that these girls came out and really did an excellent job today. Also want to thank the judges for taking time out of their schedules to do this for us, because we are very happy that persons of the caliber of the judges here today were able to share with us their expertise in the various aspects and make sure that that counted when we were dealing with a topic so relevant to what's happening within our communities. Thank you very much to the judges. We hope that we can call upon you anytime to do that kind of job for us. The saying is, once a guide, always a guide. So let's go with that. For those who have been guides, for those who have not been guides, we encourage you to think about that, and you can become guides at any age, really. So thank you very much today. Our girls have traveled from different parts of the country, as you would realize, and we hope that they could be little bubbles in their communities, and that for World Thinking Day itself, we are celebrating and sharing all those things that the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts wants us to share. We really appreciate the involvement of the different units. This is just the aspect related to the Brownies, but in terms of the other segments of the organization, they too would be doing their part in celebrating World Thinking Day. This Brownie public speaking had started during the lifetime of one of our former chief commissioners, Mrs. Althea Commissiong. And in her honor and for her contribution to girl guiding and to the nation as a whole, we have named this Brownie public speaking in her honor. And we just remember every year her contribution to language development within the nation of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Hence, we want to ensure that this legacy continues. And we would do our part as an association for the holistic development of the girls who pass through the association. And this is just one way in which this is being done. So we will remember Mrs. Commissiong every Thinking Day, like we remember other persons too, in respect of her contribution to communication and public speaking throughout the nation of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Our tokens have been tokens to those who participate in addition to which we will provide our participants with a case of water, and the judges too, if they would be inclined to accept that there is water that's going to be provided for every participant today. Thank you very much for sharing with us, and we do thank IKTV for filming for us, and we trust that our partnership with IKTV would not end today. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Mrs. Brown. We now have our vote of thanks by Miss Ria Adams.
So I would like to thank the girls for taking part in the public speaking. I would like to thank the parents and guiders for coming out here, and especially the guiders for supporting these girls. I will give a big thank you to IKTV, the management, Mr. Morales, Harry, and the technical crew. A big thank you to API. I would like to thank Ms. Gillian Griffith for donating the trophies. I would like to thank the judges for coming, Dr. Anderson for helping me prepare all of this. I would also like to give a big thank you to all those who helped behind the scenes, and also a big thank you to the audience for coming today. Thank you.
And thank you, Rio, for delivering the vote of thanks. We have come to the end of such an enlightening competition. I would just like to personally thank the girls again for exhibiting such bravery and for coming up here and doing your best. Thank you for remembering your promise. Thank you for remembering your motto to always be prepared. We'll now invite you to stand as we do taps. Brownie taps. Brownie bells, my apologies. The old guiding brain. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Thy children call, grant us thy peace, and bless us all. Good night, little brownies, good night and goodbye. Sweet dreams to your eyelids, the morning is nigh. Evening is here, there's no more to be said. Good night, little brownies, I'm going to bed. G-O-O-D-N-I-G-H-T, good night.